here we are with the hopefully final part of the dramatic reading of Diamond, Tiara hunts down and systematically murders bad OCs. By God, this lengthy reading and those big words are making my mouth hurt already. Let's carry on. The truth is, Captain, I'm in the same boat you are, surfing all the same rises and holding on for all the same falls. I've played my part. I paid up my time in the spotlight, and I answer to the same single, untouchable higher power that every pony else in Equestria does. And you know what the difference between me and all the rest of them is? Diamond's hoof shuddered, then pressed down harder than ever. She leaned in to within inches of Daniel's nose. I outgrew them, she soothed as his desperate swats at her foreleg grew feebler and feebler. And you didn't. She glanced up and down his frame once, then waited until his eyelids began to droop, then leaned back and flashed him a smile worthy of a great white shark. Tell lonely happiness I always hated her, she said as the captain's eyes finally closed for good. Keeping him hanging there for another 10 seconds just to make sure he was gone might have been a little unnecessary, but she didn't think it counted as overkill. To be fair, though, throwing him to the ground and planting her sword in his skull afterwards, that probably did count. Leaving her weapon lodged in the brain pan of her last and greatest foe, Diamond Tiara walked back over to the destroyed side of the room. Through one of the gaping holes in the wall and ceiling, she could see Ponyville a few hundred yards away, down at the bottom of a hill where a crowd of rubberneckers, volunteer fire ponies, and town's guards were already gathering. No doubt they'd come running as soon as they heard the explosion from the captain's attack. She couldn't help but smile again. She'd have an audience up here soon enough. No, not just an audience, a following. A loyal congregation terrified of the immense battle so close to their homes, shocked to learn of the apparent corruption of the elements of harmony, eager to join their simple herd-minded friends and neighbors in swearing fealty to whoever the most knowledgeable and powerful pony in sight was. And now that she'd finished dealing with the others, there's no pony else in Equestria that could stop her. After all, Captain Hoosh had been absolutely right. She was just like the rest of them, and now all the rest of them were dead, and she was still here. A voice from the throng below shouted out her name, and from the peak of ruins of her previous life, she smiled. She was still here. She was all-powerful. She was alone, and she was happy. Diamond Tiara was very, very happy. And that about closes it. With what I have to say about this fan fiction, I could point out a few spelling errors here. No, not spelling. Grammatical errors, I should say. Like, certain words should be in certain places, but the number with which that happens is fairly small and doesn't take away really anything from the story. It was well executed, and by golly, as an author of stories myself, and I like this guy, and I hope to continue with more dramatic readings in the future. This is Florarena Kita here, ending the dramatic reading of Diamond Tiara hunts down and systematically murders bad OCs. Signing out.